What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Two Car Garage. We are building our Virago 920 Cafe Racer behind me, and we are at a critical stage of the project because this is the battery box stage. So this is what everybody has a hard time with, right? Because there's no pre-buying anything. You have to fabricate everything exactly how you want, where you want, and we need to fit a lot of stuff in a little space. So the first thing that I went with is this NOCO lithium-ion battery. So these lithium batteries have come a long way. I think in the old days, people were afraid of these lighting on fire and stuff, but these are so tried and true now. You can get these at pretty much any different size. I went with a size, and I'll put the description down below, where it's still big enough that I'm not worried about it cranking over the bike and running all the lights and stuff. You could get one really, really small that basically runs a go-kart that's really easy to hide, but the practicality of it and the utility of it is diminished a lot when they're that small. So we have a normal size battery, which is still really small because it's lithium ion. We also have to put our regulator rectifier somewhere, maybe on the side of the battery box, I'm thinking, because as you guys know, these fins need to release a lot of heat that this thing generates. So this can't be hidden somewhere and covered up. It needs to be somewhere where we get a little bit of airflow. And then the next electrical component that we need is our starter motor solenoid or relay. So this has to go somewhere too. So not really sure where we're gonna put it. Let's check out our options.
So the real question here is where and what orientation do I want to put this thing? Kind of straight on like that. It leaves more room on the sides, but then it's closer to the tire. Horizontal like this, I think would work best. You can kind of see I already cut away the sides where the center stand was, just to sort of make as much room as I possibly could. And with all this stuff, I really don't know where it's all going to go. First thing I need to do is make a battery box for it, so just a small rectangular snug fitting box. After I take all my measurements, what I like to do is put a blueprint on my metalworking bench. And then once I have that rough blueprint, I like to make a template out of these free cardboard boxes that you can get from the post office. These are some really nice antique scissors. They're IP hide, made in Massachusetts. They're probably from the 1940s, but restoring those might be for another video. Either way, I make the template. Then once I'm sure it fits like this, I like to take that blueprint that I made before, blow it out into a cut list that you see right here. And then it's just as easy as following this cut list, start building. And bingo bango, here's everything all tacked up. It's not my best work, but it'll work. And then after finishing all the welding, it's time to test fit the battery, make sure it's all good, and this thing is a perfect fit. Now I had to get a little creative of how to mount this thing, so bear with me. Notice that captive stud on the battery box right there. If you look across to the left hand side of the bike, you see that slotted bracket that I welded on. So it's actually pretty deceptively simple. With the battery in the box, you can slide that captive stud on the side of the battery box into that slot, then just pivot up, and then I just made an easy little hanger on the right hand side with a welded nut behind that part of the frame. So you can pivot it down and up, and then simply pivot it up and throw a bolt in that side of the frame, and you are golden. I decided to stack the regulator rectifier, which is new for lithium batteries, and the starter solenoid all on the back side of the box. You'll see how good and hidden all of it is here. I think it turned out great. Now with the rear sets and the side brackets on, it is really hard to see that this is even there, and it's with it on the lift, kind of looking at eye level. Imagine standing next to it. This will practically be invisible, even with all the electronics stacked on top of it. Now the battery wires themselves will just go straight up along with the other wires, tucked out of the way, safe and secure.
We were actually able to tuck all the major electronic components on that one box, right? We have the battery in it, we have the regulator rectifier, the starter solenoid, and it's all tucked up under there really tighty. It's going to be hidden by the rear sets and the side brackets. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now we just have to crimp up some of the cables and run them, but that's no big deal. We'll do that off camera. Thank you guys so much for watching another video. Be sure you comment down below, hit the like button. It all helps the algorithm. We'll see you next time. Thanks.